So what are the Philadelphia 76ers doing in the first day of NBA free agency? Well, they re-signed Furkan Korkmaz. That's nice. We got Furk back. But the Lakers have gone out, and they already traded for Russell Westbrook. They now signed Dwight Howard. So the Lakers have done something. The Nuggets have added quite a few pieces and brought back a lot of our guys. The Suns have re-signed Chris Paul. The Miami Heat have gotten Kyle Lowry, re-signed Duncan Robinson, and now are progressing towards a max extension with Jimmy Butler. They also got PJ Tucker. The Bucks got Bobby Portis back. Are you seeing where I'm going here? Every other team that's competitive is starting to make moves where they're getting pieces back or they're adding to their teams. We haven't seen Philadelphia making kind of those splash moves yet. Now, granted, it's because they didn't have someone like a Tobias Harris or Joel Embiid hitting free agency, so there was never really a chance for them to go back and make a major re-signing. But just look at the roster. It hasn't changed much. It's one day in. Yeah, it's one day. There are plenty of other free agent players out there. And there's going to be a lot more time to add to the roster before the start of the season. But with the rumors that they were shopping Tobias Harris, with the rumors that they were going to try to trade Ben Simmons weeks ago, and then on the night of the NBA draft, and nothing happening, nothing coming out of that, with Dwight Howard leaving for LA after just 1 year in Philly. You know, something's gotta go eventually, right? Something's gotta give. And it's not like you can blame any players for this, not like you can blame the coach for this, but you have to look at the front office and say, look, we understand you might have an idea. We understand you might have a philosophy. But this hasn't worked for a number of years already. And it's been proven that Milwaukee is better than Philadelphia. And I firmly believe that a healthy Brooklyn team, or at least a Brooklyn team that has the 3 superstars they have, is better than Philadelphia. And the Philadelphia 76ers are not so dominant that they can beat a team like the Hawks, because they couldn't, and they didn't. And you can say, there was injuries, Ben Simmons is just off this game. Yeah, but you have to expect something like that, because Joel Embiid's hurt all the time. And Ben Simmons has never been a three-point shooter or a free throw shooter that was really good. You know, he's always been able to be somehow zoned out of the game on offense by good defenses. So these are not things that are going to go away anytime soon. And yet Philadelphia is rolling into day 2 of free agency with basically the same roster they had going into day 1. So 76ers fans are starting to get a little tense because there hasn't been a lot of movement so far. I'd say just relax. You know, you can't control any of this. You just got to go with what they give you. But they're definitely hoping for some movement. And I don't think moving Tobias Harris is the answer. I can understand why you're shopping him, but moving him really doesn't mean a lot to me, because who are you going to get in return that's better than Tobias Harris? I just don't see that move. Unless that move was supposedly going to be for Kyle Lowry and maybe OG Anunoby or someone like that from Toronto, unless that was going to be the move. That would have made more sense. But other than that, I just don't see it happening. And now that Lowry is going to end up in Miami, I definitely don't see it happening. I was talking about, well, maybe Ben Simmons will get traded to someone like Utah. Utah is a dark horse in this whole situation. Mike Conley resigned with Utah, so that's not happening. So, you know, what are you going to do now? Philadelphia's kind of at a crossroads here where they have veteran pieces and guys like Joel Embiid, who's still getting better, but you understand where his ceiling is now. You kind of have a rough idea. Tobias Harris, who you know his ceiling. You got Danny Green, you got Steph Curry. You know who these guys are. You're waiting on Ben Simmons to develop, but he hasn't really taken many steps forward over the past 2 or 3 years, especially in the offensive end of the floor. Matisse Thybulle is one of the best defensive players in the NBA, but he's a far, far way off from getting his offensive game in check. Shake Milton, good contributor. That's about it. George Hill, on the wrong side of his career. He's going straight down at this point. You know, doesn't offer much value at all. Korkmaz, you know what he is. He's not going to be anything really special in his career. Jaden Springer, you don't really know yet because you're bringing him in, and you never have any idea what these NBA rookies are going to turn into. You never do. You know, even the guarantees, a lot of times, are not guarantees. So we'll see how this works out. And yes, they're not guarantees. Just ask Markelle Fultz. So 76ers fans, you know about that. And then you have Tyrese Maxey, who you think could have a lot of potential as well. So you're caught between known factors on your team and guys who are based on potential. If you're going to win a championship, you have to have mostly known factors on your team. That's just how it is. Look at Milwaukee. Look at Phoenix. A lot of known factors. versus developmental guys. So you're at a point where you're Philadelphia where it's not necessarily time to ditch all the developmental guys, but you have to start to prioritize getting older players who you know are going to contribute at a consistent level and be able to make an impact in the playoffs. So you need to either learn a lot up from Ben Simmons. You have seen see these guys take a huge step. Guys like Ben Simmons, Maxey, Thibault need to take a huge step forward early on this season. Or if you don't believe they can, you need to trade them, or you need to find someone who will be able to do that for you in the playoffs and in the regular season now. So it'll be very interesting to see what the Philadelphia 76ers do, how they adapt their philosophy going into, I guess, the second day of NBA free agency. We'll see how everything plays out, but right now, Philadelphia has been awfully quiet so far. A lot of rumors coming out there the past 2 or 3 weeks, not a lot of action. We'll see if that changes.